Hola! Welcome to another episode of Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast in which we analyze, we scrutinize, and we celebrate the rise of Skywalker 1 minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.fun.
And I'm Stuart Wellington from Hinterlands Bar and Minnie's Bar in Brooklyn, New York.
Welcome back, Stu.
Oh, thank you. And the listeners.
Them too, yes.
Not to put you on the spot, but do either of the bars have their own websites, and do bars need websites? I would imagine they don't. Yes. It doesn't help that much.
I feel like for what we don't have. I mean, I think we own the URLs, but we don't use them. I don't quite know what we would, because we don't offer. We're neighborhood bars. We don't offer party packages or anything like that. I feel like a website would be kind of a waste of time and energy. We have Instagram accounts and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
All right. Again, not to put you on the spot. I just wanted to know.
I'm happy to be on the spot.
Might as well ask on air.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about minute 119 of The Rise of Skywalker, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Minute number 119 starts off with Rey laying back, listening to the Jedi greatest hits call her name. And ends a minute later with Rey blocking some Force lightning with Leia's old laser sword. So something happens in this minute where she gets up and is ready to fight, full of beans. It's a real, it's a easy gimmick, but I'm really struck by how just flicking the lights really fast can really alter someone's physical appearance. You know what I mean? Depending on what the angle of the lighting is. Like, they did this earlier, obviously, with Palpatine a bunch, where they just kind of had like a strobe light going, where he looked like a different person every frame. And they're doing a similar kind of thing here, Rey, where she's kind of like, you see her face with different shadows. Anyway, I just thought it's a very simple trick, but it's very effective.
It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah. Do you think the idea is to show? Yeah. Is the idea to show that she could be being pulled by the light side or the dark side? What do you think the intention is? Or just looks cool?
I think just looks cool. I don't think there's any real, thematically, it doesn't seem like she doesn't seem like she's on the verge of turning evil or anything. If anything,
guys, I'm trying to remember this movie. Is there a lot of tug on Rey to fall to the dark side? Is that
they hint at it? But very little. There's very little attention given to trying to get her to come to the dark side.
She seems worried about it, but it seems unfounded because she never seems to be struggling with it. Other than she's just like, you don't understand. Like, I could fall to the dark side, and it's like other than when she accidentally Force lightnings. Like, there's no real sense. She never does anything, selfish or out of anger. It's just like, she's just pure goodness the whole time. And she's like, I'm worried about the dark side.
Yeah, I mean, she did shoot Force lightning all over the place, right? And that's, you do that one time. Yeah. One time, and people just assume you're a Sith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she probably also knew how much she really liked shooting the lightning. That's why she's like, oh, am I going to be doing this all the time?
Well, I would be. That's how I turn on and off the TV.
Right?
I'm like, Homer with a gun.
This is where we continue with the last of the Jedi. Luke Skywalker is the last Jedi who chimes in, and he says, the Force will be with you always. So
he's quoting the Star Wars arcade game, Atari.
I didn't even recognize that as Luke because he sounds so gravelly and
You thought it was the Joker?
Yep. I thought it was the Guyver.
I thought it was the Jared Leto Joker. That's what made it extra.
That makes sense.
What is he doing here?
Yeah. And then Rey starts to finally get back up on her feet. As I guess Rey, as Sith, Sheev is just sitting there in the throne watching her do all this stuff.
I mean, I think he's really focusing on all the lightning he's blasting into the sky.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was my next note is about that, because he's kind of blissfully unaware. Obviously, by the Grandpa Munster face that he made before, he thinks that oh, these guys are taken care of. That's what. And then once Ben Solo gets up, he knocks him into the thing, and he's like, well, and when Rey gets up, he is just like staring into space, literally, staring into the upper atmosphere or whatever, but shocking the things. And she gets up and pauses, like grabs her lightsaber and ignites it, which seems like an unwise thing. Like she should have, he was totally distracted. She should have just like gotten up and like snuck over there and just like lightsabered him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or like throw it and then ignite it mid, like Snoke, that whole thing. Yeah.
She should have snuck up,
she's like,
put it next to him, gone back to where she was standing.
Just like angle all the lightsabers carefully and then be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
That's called the Snuck and Snoke plan.
Yeah.
Sneak and Snoke.
Pull the old sneak and Snoke. But yeah, she should totally have instead she announces herself. She was like, Jedi here,
yeah.
And he's like, what? Huh? Oh, hey.
I mean, I could see the argument that she needs to have a visible show of resistance against him to show that, I don't know, that he's, that she is not frightened of him, that yada, yada, yada. Yaddle, yaddle.
Symbolism. And let your death be the final word in the story of the rebellion. Nice, his little metaphor there.
Does Sheev have writers, do we think?
He's got
or does
he's so hammy.
Yeah, I mean, if not, I think he should reconsider this kind of galactic overlord thing and maybe do like a book of poetry or something. Or
I was gonna say like a bad one-man Broadway show or something.
Oh man, a bad one? I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, a fantastic one.
Again, I feel like we're stepping on the George Lucas talk show's territory right now.
Yeah, it's true.
But I will say, let me remind long-time listeners might remember that I once went to go see. We already mentioned Voldemort before, so this is coincidentally. I went to go see a show years ago called, I think, Faith Healer. And it was a series of monologues. Basically, it was like 3 acts, and each one was just like a one-man show, like a monologue kind of performance. And I forgot who the third person was, but the 2 of the performers were Ralph Fiennes, Voldemort, and Ian McDiarmid, Palpatine himself.
Whoa!
So who's the third one? Was it Josh Brolin? Or I'm trying to
think. That would have been good.
That would have been cool.
Other villains from other...
I think
Hugo Weaving would have been perfect, right?
Oh yeah, man, there you go. Yeah. There's no DC equivalent.
I feel like Hugo Weaving would match the right tone of hamminess that the other 2 guys can hit to. Like, I think that's a great night.
How is he not in Star Wars at any point? Is he still? I feel like I haven't seen him for a while now.
I mean, I think he's probably tired. I know he had a really bad experience with filming Captain America with Marvel. That's why he never came back. Even though he's great in that movie.
Right. So he's like, I'm done with blockbusters and prosthetics and
probably, yeah. I would imagine that Red Skull makeup wasn't super fun to wear.
Yeah. Didn't look it. The third actor was Cherry Jones. Cherry Jones, who mainly she's a stage actress, but I think she's done some, filmography.
Will we ever have a lady big bad in one of these franchises where like a lady is the kind of the one behind everything?
I mean, I feel like there's gotta be. I'm just trying to think of all my franchises. Tilda Swinton in Lion, the Witch of the Wardrobe.
All right,
there you go.
I'll allow it.
And then they threw her into little kind of flashback appearances in the other 2. Where they were trying to kind of keep her as the.
I think they need to just bring in Lydia Tarr from the movie Tar. She's a great big bad.
And to merge that with another franchise.
Yeah.
Like, Mattel is looking to do some stuff. Let's mix up Tar and one of their properties.
I think it sounds great. I mean, DC could use a good big bad. I feel like Lydia Tarr would spice up that whole franchise.
But yeah, it does seem unwise of her to make her presence known. But then she, she uses the lightsaber and the old trick of stopping the lightning with the lightsaber.
So this is lightning that was totally roasting a bunch of spaceships a second ago.
Well,
that lightsaber
it was
just
messing with their their electronics.
Okay.
We should have had show somebody in the Resistance with like a bicycle powered plane,
steam powered.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we win. We go, the Ewoks, perfect. We already had one of those. We're all getting destroyed, and we see Ewok glider come by and drop some rocks on a Star Destroyer.
That would have been
blowing it up.
Honestly, if that had happened, I wouldn't have been shocked in this movie. That would have felt very
shocked.
of a piece.
Yeah, throwing everything in there.
Yes, perfect. 'Cause they're all in the atmosphere too, so it would make perfect sense for them to be flying around with.
Because it's all sky. It's sky trash. It's sky trash.
There you go. Well, sky trash.
Yes, she's blocking the thing with the lightning with her lightsaber. Time honored tradition.
Mace Windu maneuver. I think they call that the Windu maneuver, actually. Because I feel like a lot of Jedi probably haven't had an opportunity to reflect Force lightning, right?
You would think, because
you don't meet a ton of Siths.
We've seen Sheev do it, and we saw Dooku do it.
Yeah,
those are the only two.
He did it. Maybe in the intervening years, there's probably some.
I'm sure they're going to show
in between the.
Did Ahsoka have to fight a Sith or something?
She
Probably.
did, but I don't think
there was any Force lightning.
I don't think the person did Force lightning. But
wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
Once again, let me just a item of note here from the expanded edition of Star Wars Episode 9: The Rise of Skywalker by New York Times bestselling author Ray Carson. Right here, where she, Ray is blocking the lightning with Leia's lightsaber, which was on her belt, because she used the Force to hand off Luke's to Ben Solo, and then he presumably dropped it. It's the opposite in the book. She starts out with Leia's lightsaber. She's blocking it with Leia's, and then starts out with Luke's, and then grabs Leia's, and it seems like she might just have it on her belt or something. She sees Luke's lightsaber, grabs it, starts with that in the book, and then kind of pulls the other one spoiler alert, Rey's got a maneuver that she's working on here, and it doesn't play quite the same in that. And she starts with, one was wondering if there was some kind of symbolism to I'm starting with this could be like her training, the order that she kind of, became acquainted with these lightsabers. She's like, I'm starting with Luke, and then I'm getting Leia's lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. But in the movie, it's the opposite.
In the movie, it's the opposite. She's starting with Leia's, and then because Ben had Luke's, I guess she's got to go retrieve that one. But
now, do you think that was just a whoopsie on the part of the author, or was that an intentional choice?
Couldn't tell you. It seems like it makes more sense the way that it is in the book, so maybe I would say it's a whoopsie on the late change in the movie making department, where they didn't quite see what they had there.
It would make sense for her to have Anakin's lightsaber, because that's the one she was using in the other movies, and then give Leia's lightsaber to her son, who's right there, and have him use Leia's lightsaber.
Leia's son, not
that's what I mean. Leia's son.
Not Rey's
adding
son.
a new layer of Rey would have.
Do you think it's because it was like a gender thing? Like they couldn't have him fighting with a girl lightsaber and have
it's like slightly larger.
Boys won't buy that toy. Yeah,
the pink tax.
Yeah. That would be funny though if she handed off, her Leia's lightsaber to Kylo Ren, and then it's got all unicorn stickers and stuff on it, all the traditionally girly stuff, quote unquote traditionally girly stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yes, the interesting technique and interesting different order of lightsabers here.
So she stands up, blocks some lightning. Does Sheev start to walk down the steps of his throne yet, or is he not on a throne? What's going on here?
He was on the throne, at least.
He's doing a little what is that? Like My Way, like Sid Vicious,
Like
down
kind of
the
a
steps.
thing.
like sideways stepping down the steps.
Yeah.
Your mother should know action.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
I always associate
I
that
think-
with the villain from The Secret of Nim. There's a really great animated sequence where Jenner is like slowly walking down a stairway like sideways and like making big gestures with his arms. I mean, what a great villain. Great movie.
Yeah.
Secret of Nim. Watch that. It's awesome.
Is that under the Disney umbrella right now? Is that on Disney Plus or is that in somewhere else?
That's actually a really good
so.
question. I'll head over to justwatch.com, my trusty resource, and see where I can see it.
I'm gonna vote no.
All right.
I mean, in this age of having to deal with streaming services and whatnot, I feel like that is a piece of physical media I should actually go out and buy because I love that movie. So when we're done here, I'll go hit over the old, I don't know, bestbuy.com.
Well, you got a live show coming up at Vidya, so they sell things. They just rent.
Maybe I'll email them and say,
Yeah,
hey
there
guys
you
at
go.
Vidiots, we have a live show coming up. Can I buy The Secret of Nim on Blu-ray from you?
We've even made it on Blu-ray.
I hope so.
So probably.
Well, obviously we're talking about Secret of Nim. Does anyone have anything to talk about specific to minute 119? Or 118, excuse me. Sorry, 119. We are on minute
119. This is
119.
119.
Yes. If not, I'll bust out those trivia questions I almost gave you guys yesterday.
Yes,
Please.
trivia.
I heard you have
All
a
right.
quiz.
Stuart, you're at a big disadvantage because some of this has to do with what we've seen in the movie so far, and you have not seen it.
Okay, you know what?
we'll see.
Just like Ray, I'm going to stand up with my lightsaber and face down a superior foe.
I love the idea of like Elliot and Dan just kind of popping up in your
Yep.
head, but instead of giving you encouraging advice,
Like,
they're just
I don't
making
know.
dumb jokes.
They're just
and,
interrupting me. Yeah.
yeah, singing songs.
All right, this one's straightforward. Name all the planets we visit in the film, not counting the hyperspace jumping at the very beginning.
Oh boy. Well, let me think.
I was able to come
So-
up with 6. 6 worlds.
Is this
Uh,
total in the movie or up to this point in the movie?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll just say up to this point because I don't recall if they go to a different planet at the end.
She goes
of
to
the film. I would-
Tatooine at the end, dude.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right. Okay, so then that's one. That's.
All right, one. Stu-
I totally forgot about that bit. I don't know how I could have, but
That's the best
I'll-
part.
yeah, that's what we're leading up to. That's what we can't look forward.
it's all leading up to this.
I'll go the opposite end. I'll go at the beginning of the movie. We don't. It's not explicitly clear, but we get to see Kylo Ren kicking some butt on Darth Vader's castle planet of Mustafar.
Mustafar is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Wait, and that was where he, where Obi-Wan had the high ground, and then he got his arms and legs chopped off, right? That was all on
Correct.
Mustafar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
so then he built his house
Makes
there to
sense
go, so he
why,
can always
yeah.
be angry.
Yeah, so he could always be near his roasted legs.
Yeah. When he looks out, you're like, see that over there? That's my legs.
That's where Ben Mendelsohn visited him, right? In
Yes.
Oh man, that was great.
Yeah.
That's a great scene.
Um,
Oh my god. You give up?
Where? Oh, so no. Then they go to the planet where they were like hanging out. Where's the Resistance Rebel base on this one the whole time? Is on a planet that I can't
can tell
remember the
you,
name
but-
of. Oh, I'll throw in it. But Babu Frick's home planet home planet, but his home base is Kijimi.
That's right.
That I remember. Kijimi.
No longer exists.
Mhm.
No.
Destroyed by the Empire.
Agent Kloss.
Agent Claus, correct.
There you go. That was boom, boom. That's where the rebel base is here.
3 more.
Wow, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
The desert where they go to the party. Pasana.
Pasana, correctamundo.
Wow.
First of all, it's the planet they're on right now.
Yeah, they're on a planet.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, Exegol. Exegol. There you go.
One more.
What other planet would they have been on?
So let's just say they enjoy horsing around on this planet.
Oh.
Not the
was that-
sitcom, the act of horsing around.
Kef Beer.
Kef beer.
technically not a planet, right? Though. Is
all
it
right.
a moon?
Take it off.
I don't know.
Name,
I forgot
and
about that.
the rest of these are all multiple choice.
Pretty good. Pretty close.
Yeah, that was pretty
It
good.
is the one that we're covering. If you had asked me about planets in, the Last Jedi or Force Awakens, I would have no clue. I'd be like, it's the blue one.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of. Crate.
Only because it's fresh on my. I've got pages and pages of talking about this.
Canto Bite.
Canto Bite.
Okay.
And whatever the planet was, they started the first one. Anyway, what is the name of the ship belonging to the Knights of Ren? It's multiple choice if you don't know it immediately.
Oh, wait, it's got a silly, it sounds like it was made by like 15-year-olds who are trying to be badass.
Your choices are the Steadfast, the Vulture, the Buzzard, or the Cuckoo.
I'm going to say it's the Buzzard.
I think
Buzzard is
I'll agree with
correct.
Stuart Wellington.
2 points for Stu.
I'm a 15-year-old boy at heart.
Why'd you go with Buzzard instead of Vulture? The Z's are more extreme.
Yeah, I feel like I remember reading the name of Buzzard somewhere.
Fair enough. What is Lando's nickname on Pisana? On Pisana, they referred to him by it. They're like, "Oh, you want to go see blankety blank."
Now, I think this is just a bit and not actually in the movie, but the Ice Cream Man. That's gonna be
That was
he
our
drives
bit,
around
but-
in that. Drives around in the truck delivering stuff.
Is it the Treadman, the Hermit, the Mystery Man, or the Mind Harpist of Sharu? Lando's nickname. Treadman, Hermit, Mystery Man, or Mind Harpist of Sharu?
I'm gonna say Mystery Man.
Mystery Man?
I'll agree with Stuart again.
Both wrong. Correct answer is the Hermit. The Hermit.
Doesn't really make sense, though.
Maybe you'll do better on
He
this
goes
one.
places.
Ochia Bestoon, the Sith
course,
sidekick. What was the name of his spaceship, which they wound up commandeering? Was it
it's like the Pride of Gugu or something like that? What was it?
Is it the Pride of Gugu? The Bestoon Legacy? The Steadfast? The Golden Sky? Or the Lucky Lady?
You keep wanting us to say Steadfast, but it's not going to be Steadfast.
It's the Bestoon Legacy, right?
Yeah.
Bestoon Legacy. You are correct. How many Ewoks do we see This hasn't happened yet in the film, so it might be tough. How many Ewoks do we see celebrating on the planet Endor?
2.
Ooh. Again, not a moon. It's the forest.
Pete is correct.
I mean, not a planet, it's a moon.
We don't see them on Endor. We see them on the forest moon of Endor.
Oh, man. Oh, I got to turn in my Star Wars card.
We all remember Kylo Ren had Darth Vader's helmet as a collector's item. What happened to the helmet?
Didn't he smush it or something?
Is that your guess? He smushed it?
Did Ray smush it? Somebody smush it?
Well, he bashed up his own helmet, and then he got a chimp to put it back together.
That's true. I like that chimp.
But then it was still on that platform, and I think when they were fighting, they knocked it over. Mom always said, "Don't play ball in the house."
Mm-hmm. I don't know the answer to this one, so I don't know.
Okay. You've gone beyond trivia into just like,
and he was like, "Well, my collectibles."
Yeah.
Because he couldn't have gone back.
I think they knocked it over like the little Doric column.
No, but I mean after that, like once Kylo Ren left and the maid goes in there and cleans up, and then does the Star Destroyer get blown up with the helmet on it?
Probably.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Probably. So that'll be the plot.
I mean,
there'll be
10 years later, we're gonna get a movie about some guy finding the helmet.
Well, yeah, it's the maintenance guy, like the guy, the janitor guy, the guy who took Finn's place in the janitorial squad, was sweeping up the Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Sweeps up Darth Vader's helmet, and he looks at it, and he's having a thing, and then he gets
puts it on, and then Anakin's spirit takes him over.
Yeah, he's also like the grandson of Kyle Katarn, so that all makes sense.
Somehow.
Wow. Do you think Kylo Ren ever tried to put the helmet on just to see?
Of course he did.
Yeah.
twisted and smushed. And he's like, what about it now? Does it look okay now?
Luke, I am your father. Well, that will wrap up minute 119, unless you guys have anything else you wanted to discuss. Any other trivia questions you want to throw back at me?
No, that good. I'm good with that.
All right. Well then, Stuart, you're coming back tomorrow to wrap up the week with us.
I got to see what happens.
Will not take
That wasn't
no
even
for
a
an
question.
answer.
That's just like a command. Yeah.
And listeners, we're getting close to the end, and we want you to participate in the show by calling our hotline 8-Day Greedo. We're not that much left to discuss, so you know what we're going to do?
Yeah.
Credits wild card. Talk about anything you want, and we can maybe air it during the credits. As long as it's short and funny, that's what you got to be shooting for. And do that, and then call us tomorrow on another Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.